This is Frog tries to get out of puddle. Dot. Real player. File.
Look at that frog trying to get out of that puddle.
And now I can't tell if he's not getting out because he's having a good time or he's not getting out because of some kind of medical.
Oh, that frog's dead. Guys, welcome to the show.
Was somebody else moving him around?
That frog's dead. I think we were watching it die.
Steve, I want to tell you a story.
Okay.
First time I ever tried to go down on a girl.
Whoa, dog.
She had her underwear on, and I didn't want to move her underwear because I was nervous.
Wait, were you like? How old were you?
27? No, I was like 16.
I'm like, okay.
And I got down there and I was like, was that
Just
good?
little smooches?
And she was like, you didn't. It was nothing.
You didn't eat it like they say in the rap songs.
Yeah, that was
Where's your
before-
knife and fork?
It was before rap.
It was before rap?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. What was this, like 1940 something?
Yeah. I was 16.
I mean, you know, like, it's a delicate process down there.
I know now. I didn't know before.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Dude, I was so intimidated by all of the stuff. They have so much stuff.
Well, I just was like, you know, when I was a kid, it was like girls have this and boys have this. And that's it.
Go back.
I know, right? And I was like, damn, that's fast.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well then, cool. We have different looking things, but they like function the same.
You guys have a weird dick.
You guys just have a innie dick. Your dick is an innie and ours is an outie.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought for like the longest time. And then I learned that it's actually like a whole ecosystem.
Different system.
It's like an ecosystem. There's like flora in there.
Yeah.
Meriwether.
Floyer. Money.
Lawyers.
Yeah.
There's like whole transit systems.
Do you know girls keep stuff in there, like their keys?
I think that's a bad idea.
I think it's a bad idea too, but they do it. Doesn't stop them from. That's why you have to go to the OBGYN to see if you left a keychain up there.
I wish they had told me when I was like young that there was like a whole fascinating world in there.
They don't tell you a lot of important things when you're young.
They go like, you're gonna get these like real nasty sores and you're gonna have a baby and you're like, there's all these things that could happen if you have sex, and it's all ways to like try to keep us all scared of it, I guess.
Sure.
When we're young. And then you learn that it's fucking awesome and it sucks they kept it from us.
Yeah.
And made us scared of it for so long.
But
I know
the
people
cool
that
kids that don't listen to the teachers were banging at a young age too.
Yeah.
And then there's some casualties, isn't there? Somebody gets pregnant while they're too young.
Yeah.
And then they have kind of a hard time.
they call that the example student.
Yeah.
They're
Say,
like,
you don't want to
"Who's
be
your
like
example
Tina,
student?"
do you?
Yeah.
And then they give you this look.
The teachers are all in the teacher's lounge and they're like, you guys have an example student yet?
Yeah.
And we're like, not yet, but I think Rebecca.
And then the teacher's like, shut the fuck up, I'm smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about these fucking kids.
I'm drinking soda and smoking cigarettes inside.
What are the rules here in the teacher's lounge? Don't talk about the fucking kids.
No kid talk.
No kids in here.
What do they talk about?
Goddamn garbage.
They probably just talk about how much they fucking hate
Yeah.
all the kids.
Yeah.
Man, kids are real pieces of shit nowadays for the most part. I feel bad because like kids will straight up assault a teacher for taking your phone away. But we
Yeah.
couldn't have anything.
Oh no.
Why was it okay? Like we couldn't have a phone in school a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And now the kids are like, well, we need that for emergency situations. We need to have it like on our desks.
Yeah, because like, what if there's like a fucking active shooter or some shit?
Yeah,
Which
I gotta
is
call
another
him.
thing
Tell him to
kids have
stop.
worry about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we had to worry about. Hold on, we're getting a call. The call's coming from inside your mouth. I don't know. I thought it was a nice conversation. Doing?
He's gonna get his beat boobs.
Fuck. This fucking thing doesn't let you arm a new track while it's recording.
This fucking thing.
This fucking
thing doesn't let me correct my mistakes before.
Yeah, this fucking thing doesn't give me a chance to correct my mistakes. It just goes like, as soon as you hit record, good luck, buddy.
Dude, fuck this fucking thing that has worked for us flawlessly for the past 12 years, but today it kind of fucked me. So fuck this. Fuck
that shit. That thing, I'm gonna flush it down the toilet.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can get it into the toilet.
And that must be the plumber. Sounds like someone flushed a Zoom recorder down here.
If they had told me that the vagina had like a whole like it was like landing on an alien planet, like if they were like the vagina is like an alien planet, I'd be like, dude, let me learn everything about the vagina.
How do you think that would make the girls in the class feel?
I mean, if they were like the penis is a dirty dong, I'd be like, yeah, sure, man.
Now I get it.
I don't give a fuck. You say whatever you want about my dick. I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
I guess you're right. Maybe some little girls don't want their vaginas to be associated with alien planets.
Yeah, if I thought somebody thought my dong was a dirty dong, I'd be bummed out.
I'd be bummed out too, but I wouldn't be like, I mean, I guess there are some people that would be really turned off by the idea of the vagina being like an alien planet.
Most people.
But I think that if you think about humanity and how we biologically function in general, like even like having babies is such a like crazy alien thing. Like the birth process or like growing a organism inside of your body.
Is it an alien thing or is it the most human thing?
I mean, sure,
but it's the beginning of time. It's happened on this planet.
Yeah, I mean, but there could be things that have happened since the beginning of time that are beautiful or whatever that you can deconstruct and be like, oh, that's fucking gross, actually.
Like boogers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boogers have been around since the beginning of time.
I'm
sure dinosaurs had boogers.
Well, what is the idea of gross is shaped by what?
I guess it's like things that we're meant to, like biologically we consider things gross because our body is reacting to like something it doesn't want or doesn't want to see. Like when you eat berries that are poisonous in the woods and you like puke out your fucking guts, you're like, well, never gonna eat that again. And then the next time you see those berries on the tree, you're like, oh fuck, remember when I fucking, like when you're like,
so when you have
when you smell Jägermeister or whatever,
when you have a kid and the kid is a piece of shit, then your body reacts to it.
Yes.
Like I never want.
I
to
don't
do that
want
again.
that.
This one talks back.
Yeah. They say when you have a kid, something switches in your body that makes you want it, no matter how gross it is.
Is that right?
And you know, some people can handle gross things more than others, for sure.
Uh-huh.
But I've heard stories about people who like go into the delivery room with their significant others and say that like they've never seen such horrors.
Interesting.
Like, you know, ripped up shit and poop and blood and pee-pee and bile and puke and tears all over everybody. Nurses are covered in your poop.
If they told little girls that, there would be less babies.
I think they should tell them that to scare them like they scared us.
Dude,
by
remember,
being like, you're
remember
gonna get
pound
dick
puppies?
Yeah.
Dick crystals.
Yeah, I remember pound puppies. Dude, I had a pound puppy.
I think everyone would be a lot cooler if they never lied to us in school and they just told us hard truths earlier. Like if they taught all of us how to like take out loans instead of doing like algebra and shit like that.
Hold on to all your receipts.
Dude, think about how many kids need algebra on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And then think about how many kids. What is happening?
Kevin's reformatting that.
The car isn't working? Man, good day.
It's okay.
Let's flush everything down the toilet, see if it works better.
I ain't worried about it. I'm having a nice conversation with my friend.
I just think of all the kids you know with like hard, like they grew up hard. And they had too many truths too fast. Those are always like the coolest kids.
Yeah.
Like fuck, they've been through some shit, so they know what's worth like getting upset about and what's not. Or they don't know how to manage their feelings because they've never gone through that part.
It's like you're in class and you're like, yo, what's up with Joey? Why is that motherfucker so fucking
He's going through a lot.
And the guy's like, dude, watched his dad die.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck?
And then they brought him back.
Yeah.
And his dad's an alcoholic.
They brought him back and he left their family.
Yeah. So
because he decided.
But by the time Joey is like 30,
he's
either a hardened criminal or the most well-rounded person in the town.
Yeah.
But all these people who have been like lied to and told soft truths for their whole lives.
Yeah.
Those are the people who are like, my iPad's out of batteries.
Dude, for real.
You know?
For real.
Yeah.
That's the hard knocks, right?
Somebody who's been through a lot of shit is never that worried that their phone is out of
Not really, no.
Like, fuck it, I'll find the charger and I'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, we always come back to this kind of concept, but it's like the like no atheists in a foxhole kind of thing, where it's like if you're faced with like your mortality, like it's right there in front of you, then you're like, fuck, nothing. Why did I worry about anything ever?
Yeah.
And then you're like, please let me get through this and I'll never worry again. And then you get through it, and then you're, like, back to being a mess.
Yeah.
But that one moment was, like, a sobering moment for you.
Yeah.
Whether that's, like, near-death experience or whatever it is.
Dude, if I was a god, if I was the god,
Yeah.
I would be such a spiteful the god. And I would, all, like, the atheists and stuff like that, when everyone's on their deathbed, because the only truth is everyone die. And I would go when you were having like your DMT moment and you saw like whatever, I would show up for a second and I'd go, huh. And then I'd leave. That's what I would do. If somebody was like, what would you do if you were all powerful? I would go up to everyone who didn't believe in me for a second at the end of their life, be like,
huh. Maybe that's what's up with God now. Because they used to talk about him being a vengeful being and like throwing down.
Then they made him nice, and then they made him Alanis Morissette.
Maybe he just decided to be like, you know what, fuck it. They don't respond to the fucking locusts anymore, and they figured out how to like.
Oh, they know They're 23, and they
figured everything out.
They watch YouTube. They have all the answers. They're 23. They don't need me anymore.
I remember being like one of my best friends in school. His name is Jeff, and his dad was like a smart ass. Like a young, like, you didn't realize how young people's parents are when you're a kid. Because you're like, they seem like old, like they're old.
Old heads.
They had kids, so they must be old.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like 20 years older than
your
my friend's
Jeff's
dad was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking crazy. It's like bonkers that parents manage to like make any kind of, working human that can survive on the planet alone. But this guy Jeff, his dad was like a total smart ass, like always making like sarcastic jokes and shit like we do basically. But I never imagined like a dad could be like that, because my dad was just like this super stoic, and he's just like, here's how it is, mijo, and like, he'd joke around and shit, but he wasn't like a smart ass. He wasn't like saying that I look like fucking he said I looked like Newman from Seinfeld, because I had like the Newman glasses and I was this chunky little fucking kid, and every time I'd come over he'd go like, hello Newman, and I'd go like, hello Jerry.
And now you hate that show?
Yeah, well no, I always loved Seinfeld. And I love Wayne Knight, the guy that played Newman. He was Nedry in Jurassic Park and shit. He's tight. I love him anyway, so but his dad would like make fun of me and shit when I would come over, and like my dad would never do it. My dad just would be like, don't let them eat all our food. Like that was the only thing he cared about. Like friends that would come over. Like when my friends would come over, the only thing he gave a shit about was like, don't let him eat all our food. Like these poor kids coming over or
that's
whatever.
Great.
And I was like, Dad, I go to their house and eat all their fucking food.
Dude, I don't remember eating like over friends' houses. I thought that was a really awkward thing. I was like, I'll always be home for dinner.
Like dinner and shit? Yeah, that never happens.
And then when my friends, like when it was coming time for dinner, it was never like, can this person eat over? It was like, you got to get out of my house so I could eat.
Yeah, I'm eating with my family. This is my special family time.
Yeah, you got to go.
You're not going to be my best friend for life.
We don't need to trade baseball cards right now. Yeah. I'm hungry.
If you were my best friend for life, maybe you'd come join us.
Yeah,
you're not.
When we're friends for life, we'll go out to eat when we're 27.
Yeah. You had a cool marble and I invited you over.
You're not eating my food.
You're not eating my mom's
My
food.
mom made this food.
Yeah. And also like that idea of like a family dinner and your friends would be sitting there and shit, like seemed like such a TV thing to me. Like I felt like it's a nice idea, and maybe like people, because like in the early days, even in like way before like we had big civilized cities and shit, people would like invite their neighbors over and be like, let's have dinner
Dude,
together.
for years it was their only plan.
Yeah.
Like people have so many different plans now.
What are you doing on Tuesday?
Well, at some point we're gonna eat.
We're having dinner. Tuesday's when we have dinner.
Well, if Monday goes well, Tuesday we'll have
dinner. It's like, why do you wait? Why? But then you have the whole. So you wait a whole week?
Well, sometimes it takes a week to catch the lion. So if we catch the lion in a shorter amount of time, if it's a big lion, we could eat on Tuesday and Thursday.
Sometimes we could eat Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah, and that's nice when that happens.
Yeah. But I have this factory that makes cheese puffs. What do you think about that?
Exactly.
I have this factory where in this room, chickens lay eggs.
Yeah.
And we keep them in this room. We feed them the plastic,
so we
basically.
have endless eggs and chicken.
And then the eggs come down, and some of them get hatched to make more chickens for when we kill this one so we could fry them
Have
up.
a nice dinner
And,
Tuesday.
And in this room, there we have heat lamps on the eggs.
Yeah.
And this guy's learning how to make an omelet.
Oh man, that sounds nice, doesn't it? Like we think about how we live in a very like convenient age. We live in the age of convenience. Like everything is at our fingertips because of our phones.
Yeah,
and like as long as you've got money, you can literally have anything you want, pretty much.
Dude, isn't it so funny how all food, and especially all good food, essentially came from boredom? Like people ate a lion or a pheasant, two terrible examples, every day.
Yeah.
Until they were like,
Or
I
squirrels
can't
and
eat this shit
weasels and
anymore.
shit, yeah.
Cannot eat it.
Yeah.
And then they were like, what if we tug on these things that the cow has on the bottom of it?
Wait, you hold on. You're gonna tug those
You just
nipples?
see how it's getting bigger?
Yeah.
I think the cow seems uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe if we squeeze that to make it smaller, and it's going to take us a lot of different times to learn how to do that.
Well, I noticed that there was a baby that
Yeah.
was sucking on those.
So you think we should suck
So
on
maybe
it?
we should just suck on them.
Does the baby seem happy?
Listen, those babies can't talk.
Does it seem happy?
Those babies they grow up because of it.
I'm going to try to suck.
Maybe.
So then
I love.
they did that until that got boring.
Yeah.
How long does that take to get
You know
boring?
what? That must have
Hold
been
on.
huge news.
Yeah. You could just suck this thing.
Yeah.
And then years later, they were like, I don't want to suck that thing. It doesn't taste good.
Let someone
right?
else do it.
So they do it, and then they put it into buckets. Then they're like, oh, we could just drink out of the buckets.
Yeah.
And then that got boring.
Yeah.
So they were like, what if we just leave the buckets?
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, we'll let the kids stir them around. And then they made cheese. And then they're like, what if we put the old hard cheese on these eggs that the chickens...
I love that it's because of boredom and not because of like survival / competition / growth.
But no one has to make a cheese omelet for survival. Like people make a cheese omelet because they got sick of eating eggs.
I mean, yeah, they got creative and they were like, well, yeah, because they had access to these things. Yeah.
We could eat that and we could eat that. It took us a long time to figure that out. What if we ate them at the same time?
Dude, I'm just thinking about how like, because like the concept of like drinking another animal's like milk is so funny to me. Like now, like, because when I was a kid, it was like, drink this fucking giant glass of milk every day, you little
you'll never
shit.
have abs,
Yeah, and then they showed you like on TV, they're like, milk is like the #1 thing to like fuck water. It's all about milk.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, well, fuck it. I guess I'll fucking drink milk or something.
Yeah.
And then you learn that like milk is like a thing that exists just for like babies. And that's it. It's got all the nutrients for a baby.
Yeah.
And then they get to an age where like that they need more than the milk.
Yeah.
And so that's it. Like as humans, it's like milk production is just for babies. And then that's it.
Yeah.
But then we were like, well, we got these cows that we've been chopping up and they make us like burgers and shit, or they make us like these great hides that like we can make clothes out of their skin and shit.
Yeah.
They were like, we're going to use everything, including their baby milk.
Yeah.
And we're going to make their baby milk our milk as adults.
Right, that we could feed to babies if we don't want to deal with them.
Yeah, there must have been like news flashes like all over, like newspapers or whatever, telegraphs, whatever it was, where people were like, look, I know that when we were babies, we drank our mom's milk. But now we're adults and we can drink animals' milk.
Dude, dipping Oreos in a glass of milk is the ultimate, like, we beat everyone.
We rule this place. We are the top of the food chain.
Here's a circle of chemicals we're dipping in your milk.
We're taking your baby fluid that's for your baby,
making it cold
and
with our electricity
and dipping our science into it.
And not finishing it is the
not
ultimate.
Finishing it.
If you drop the cookie in the milk and you're like, and then you just
oh yeah, then that's it. The milk's in the if the milk goes in the cookie,
win.
That's it. That's trash.
I want to eat an Oreo dipped in cow's milk in front of a cow.
I think there's a window of time where you can get a spoon and get that cookie out. But if you miss that window, it's like now you're just dealing with like slush, like sugar slush.
And there are people I know listening to this show right now who are like, that's the goal. You want to drop it on purpose. And these little differences is what makes us so beautiful as human beings.
I know. I love it. Isn't that wonderful, Kevin? Mm-hmm. Rub your eyes for a second.
You ever have an Oreo?
Kevin, you ever rubbed your eyes?
They didn't start drinking cow's milk until 6,000 to 8,000 years ago.
Dude, that's how long it takes to get bored.
We weren't able to actually digest it. It made us sick.
Whoa, like lactose intolerance?
But
we're not supposed to do it.
But lactose intolerance is something that happens either genetically passed from a family gene, or it's like you force your body to hate it. Like you can drink milk or eat ice cream and go like, wow, that was really tasty or whatever. But then like you do that every day, and your body's gonna be like, no, this is baby fluid.
Your body says that.
Your body's like, you're not a baby anymore. You need nutrients.
You need soda.
Soda.
Imagine how bored of milk you have to do to get soda.
I mean, Big Milk would hate to hear you say that.
And there really is
Big
one milk company.
But you know how you think about how like there are things that humans did like 100 years ago that were like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Yeah, most.
How could you do that every day?
Yeah.
And like one day they'll say that about us and milk and things like that.
How can you be on your phone every day?
People are drinking animal baby milk.
Why weren't you looking up at your family? Your family was still alive. Yeah. You were on your phone. Your family was alive.
You'd rather look at that.
You had phones and stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, dude. Imagine like, imagine you're on a plane with someone from 200 years ago. And you're like, the Wi-Fi is out, and you're like, this fucking bullshit.
Yeah. And they're like, what?
Yeah, I can't fucking
Listen.
I can't talk to my friends right now. I really want to watch TikTok.
I can't talk to my friends until I do a 3-day journey and face them. Dude, do you remember Mel Brooks used to do a bit with Carl Reiner, and it was called the 3,000-year-old man or something, or the 10,000-year-old man. Yeah. And it was this bit they would do that was like, it was like a vaudeville routine, and they would just go back and forth, and it was just like Mel Brooks. I think Mel Brooks. Who was the 10,000-year-old man? Man, I'm gonna fuck this
Steve
shit
Austin.
up.
Steve Austin was the 10,000-year-old man.
I think it's 10,000. Is it 10,000? No, maybe it was 3,000.
So anyway, the first time I went down on a girl, I was just kissing the front of her underwear, and then I came up and I was legit like, "Was that all right?"
Okay, so yeah,
that poor girl had to lie to my face.
The 2,000-year-old man was a comedy sketch in the 1950s, and it was first performed in the 1960s.
They talk about milk.
But Mel Brooks plays a 2,000-year-old man, and Carl Reiner is like the straight guy, and he's like asking him questions about, what do you think about our modern age and shit like that. And it was like jokes like that.
I love it.
Where they were like, I don't know, like, you know, like imagine being on a plane with someone from like 100 years ago.
Right.
And
figure
what
out the
kind of
radio.
conversations would you have? It was that kind of bit.
Uh-huh.
Real funny shit. But that reminded me of that. But dude, we suck. We suck as a species. Just going like, how can we get the most out of these like creatures that are clearly beneath us?
Well, there's a couple ways to look at it. It's either like, if it wasn't us, something would do that to us.
Totally.
And it's either like, I don't
Which sucks,
subscribe to, whenever somebody says the most extreme stuff anymore, even though it might be funny, like I immediately tune out of the, like if somebody says we suck as a species, I'm like, really? Do you not enjoy anything that's out right now?
Yeah.
Like, do you not enjoy having your phone? Do you not enjoy having a car?
Totally.
Do you not enjoy being able to like fly through the air to get across the country in 6 hours?
Like we also like can't help that we're reliant on our phones as a society today, because they really like forced it on us. They made it look like we were gonna miss out on the future if we didn't get a fucking cell phone like this.
Yeah.
They made it look like you won't be cool, no one will want to talk to you if you don't have one on you. Like they really like pushed it into our brains that like we need this.
Yeah.
And now we do. It like worked. They
Yeah.
like got us basically. And I think that like we're kind of the innocents in that situation, because we're so easily manipulated by things like that. Like you're gonna miss out on all of the things that your friends are doing, and then you go like, I don't give a fuck, and then you go to hang out with your friends and they're like, look what my phone can do, it does like a lighter, look, it's a lighter.
I could drink a beer.
And then when I do this, the flame moves.
Yeah.
And you're like, well fuck, I need that.
Well, that's like how to guilt a 13-year-old into having a phone.
Yeah, but like, society followed that. Like society, like when the iPhone first came out, most people were like, man, who gives a shit? And then it was like, yeah, but look at all these cool celebrities using shit. And it's like, most people were like, well shit, this is gonna boost my status as a person to even have this thing. Like, do you remember when the iPhone first came out? Do you remember like what that was like?
Yeah, I just don't know the difference between like, I would never get something, and I don't know of anyone who would get something because like a celebrity used it.
But
it's
that's
more
like the
like
beginning
I could
of it.
talk to my
Totally.
whoever all
Yeah.
the time so easy.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
it's,
when T9 came out, I was like, this is a cumbersome but cool way to talk to people in study hall, right?
Yeah.
And then the iPhone came out and it was like, oh, it's like AIM but for everyone in your pocket.
in your pocket, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it wasn't
but-
about like missing out or feeling cool. It was about like technology progressing and making communication.
Totally. I mean, that was certainly a part of it, but
Yeah.
like they had been training us with consumerism since we were children.
Yeah.
To be like, we want this or we're not going to be as cool. Like I remember being a kid and like all of my friends had like cool video game systems and shit, and it was like just when they all came out, and it's like, well, I feel like a dick because I don't have this. And I feel like I'm not, like when my friends come over to my house, I don't have the video game system for them to play. And so it like made you feel kind of like consumerism made you feel like you were missing out on things.
Sure.
Like-
it could.
Take, because I almost lean on Mike's side. I
Yeah.
never got those things because I felt like I was missing out
Yeah.
on something.
Well, so neither did I, but the
You're
major,
talking about
the
mass
major,
society.
yeah, the masses.
Dude, say
Yeah.
something that you've bought because of the fear of missing out. I have one loaded up.
Something I bought because of the fear of missing out.
Like the first time I saw a PlayStation, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't feel like I need that because the first person I knew who had a PlayStation was such a loser.
Yeah.
And it's the only reason I wanted to hang out with him was because he had
He
a
had
PlayStation,
that,
but it didn't
yeah.
make me want one.
Yeah.
And then the first time, do you remember when N64 came out?
Oh, yeah.
I forced myself to try to like Zelda.
Yeah.
Because everyone seemed to be having a good time.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I'm out.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like you try those things because when we were kids, like we would our eyes were glued to the Saturday morning cartoons, which were essentially like marketing tools for us to buy toys and shit.
That's why I needed a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I watched G.I. Joe all the time.
I just think that like
I needed a train because of the Cartoon Express.
like most people. Do you remember when the like
I remember, dude, for years after watching Thomas the Tank Engine, I couldn't get on a train that didn't have a face on it.
yeah, I didn't trust it. Where's the face on this fucking
How do I
thing?
talk to this train? How do I tell it where I want to go?
Yeah. Anyway, but like, you know, Apple was really good at it because they would do those commercials where like when they do iPod, remember the iPod, like the commercials with the headphone?
Oh yeah, those
Like,
are great. The silhouette.
And you're like, I want those fucking headphones. Like, you may not be like, I want them because I will be cool too, but the imagery is telling you that, and subconsciously you're like, there's a motivator in there for that. It may not be like the main one.
I just think when you get into like personality traits,
Yeah.
I think it's different. I think you get into subsets of consumerism based on people's personality.
Totally.
Like you could totally get something. I know people who get shit that they don't even like,
Yeah.
but they're like, I have this.
Yeah.
This like Teslas.
Yeah, yeah.
The Toyota is better, but this is like those fucking
status
boots.
symbol,
Those
yeah.
red boots. They're
yeah.
only a status symbol. I think it's never been stronger than now. But I remember back in like iPod days, I was like, oh, I don't have to listen to CDs anymore. Like
Yeah.
it was a functionality thing.
put it
It
all
wasn't
on a hard
like
drive,
I'll
yeah.
be cool if I have this.
Well, totally. I mean,
it's
like,
just a byproduct.
totally. But I feel like no matter what, under that is like all of the marketing tricks they like baked into our brains since we were a kid. So it's like, why do we want technology? To have access to things that we didn't have access to before. But like, do we want those things for like a practical reason, or do we want those things because it's cool to be like, hey mom, can you pick me up on this little thing? It's like there's all these like weird psychological...
Well, technology is supposed to make things easier,
Totally,
right?
totally.
So if back in the day I had to find a quarter,
Yeah.
and find a payphone,
Yeah.
and talk on some like
Yeah,
unhoused man's mouth,
Yeah, yeah. And the streets.
right in the street, in the
the
hard
streets.
streets. Or I could just take this thing out of my pocket
Yeah.
and be like, Mom, I'm at
But you know
Jeff's
what's
house.
funny? To this point, they released... So the iPhone came out and was a huge fucking success, and it just was like, people were buying them for whatever reason. Status symbols, like ease of access, technology, whatever.
Yeah.
But so that all happened, and then like this company was like, okay, we want to take away all the status, all the like popularity stuff about the iPhone, and sell a phone that just does the phone. And no one bought it. No one gave a fuck.
What was that?
It was I forgot what it was called, but it was literally just it was
Like a Go phone. Or
yeah,
something
Go
like that.
phone
Yeah.
or something like
Once
that.
something is accepted into like the populace,
Yeah.
it's tough to go backwards after
But
that.
it's like if I came to you in the street and was like, "You've got an iPhone, fucking cool," but isn't there a bunch of too much apps and like it feels like, you know, you got to be on the cutting edge of technology or you're going to be behind or whatever. It's like, what if I sold you this that is literally just a phone and it doesn't do apps and all it does is make a phone call
Yeah.
and get messages? Like,
We've
you'd
already
be like,
been
well, fuck
through-
that thing.
Hey, JF.
What's happening?
Hey, this is Mike Falzone, and you're unwillingly a guest on the Dynamic Banter podcast.
Ooh, look at this.
Hi, JF.
That's Steve.
Hey, buddy. Hey, Steve. I've heard of him.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
You admit on stage that you are addicted to your phone.
100%.
And are you still planning on going back to having a landline?
I'm currently looking at my landline.
So you got
But you
it.
called him on a cell phone.
I currently have a landline.
He knows that I'll never call him on his landline.
On his landline?
But what can you explain briefly why that is so attractive to you?
Why? Because I want to be able to put my cell phone in a drawer, and in case of emergencies, my older parents can still have a way of getting in touch with me.
Your older parents would call you on the iPhone or on the landline?
On the landline.
They have a landline?
I want the landline so I can shut my cell phone off, and that in case of emergency, people who are important to me still have a way of contacting me.
And you want to do less on your phone. You want to do nothing at all on your cell phone.
I want to do fucking jack shit on this goddamn cell phone.
Do you think it's going to hurt your career?
Probably, and no. I think I will be. I think I will become a better artist by being on my phone less and being in the world more.
Less distracted.
Yeah.
And I think it'll give me something different and fun to talk about.
Yeah. More perceptive, maybe?
More perceptive, but I think short term, like with like Instagram and stuff like that, and building fans, because that's where most people's attentions are now, is on social media. It could hurt me.
Yeah, because it's almost like if you're trying to get fans, if you're trying to be an outward artist, it doesn't matter what you like. You have to be where the consumers are at.
Yeah, but also at the same time, I feel like if you make a piece of work or a body of work that is extremely good, people will find it, and then people will talk about it, and people will share it, you know.
Then why didn't my last TikTok do that well?
That's a good question.
Because people were talking about it.
Does anybody else have any follow-up questions for JF?
No, I think that's one. JF, do you know that there are phones that exist that are only like just phone call machines?
Yeah. Like a flip. I've thought about going the flip phone route, but the thing is, because I tour so much and I'm in Europe a lot, I still need a smartphone so I can have like Google Maps and things like that.
They made it so we need that shit. Those fucks.
Do you know Google Maps makes you gay?
I didn't know that. Is that why you've been using it?
I love you, JF. Thank you so much.
Bye, JF.
So that was JF. That was JF, and he's the person I know that has been like very adamant about I'm getting a landline for a long time.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get his perspective.
But it's interesting because from someone who's like, I admit I have a problem. I want this thing, but then went on to explain why they need this fucking thing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like you can either be like the guy that just has your cell phone and accepts the fact that like we need it.
Yeah.
Or you can have like two things, and one is like you gotta hide it sometimes, and then you got this other thing that's just for this, but then you got a landline, and it's like, I don't want to carry around too many things either. It's like it's almost like they made it so that
when you say they, who's they?
Like technology corporations like Apple and like the big manufacturers, Google, the manufacturers of like the technology that. Because they sit in their offices and they go like, how do we make things that people need?
But need through us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like they go like, well, people need their phones. People need food. People need, transportation.
Yeah.
So like, those seem to be the places where they're like, how do we butter people up the most to make them like want these things so that they... And then they go like, well, you're renting the phone, not buying it, and like you're paying them all this money every year to have it and stuff. It's like it's an interesting thing that they kind of just like we're like, but you want it because the technology is cool. And like for me, I've always been like a technology nerd. So like when someone showed me that you could have like fun apps and games, I was like, fuck, it's like a video game. It's like I don't need to buy a DS.
Yeah.
I can just buy this and I'll have everything I need and more.
Dude, since I started making my own money, all of my money goes to either phone technology or technology that I could, or the strip club, because squirting ain't cheap.
Yeah, no, it's not.
And it also goes into technology that I could use to make money.
Yeah.
Very rarely do I spend money on stuff that I can't make money with.
Yeah, I mean, this is for us.
That's why I can't put it down, is because like I get to work constantly.
It's our fucking job.
And that's the thing that whoever they is did to us.
I know.
Dude, I remember back in the day we had a conversation about how, it used to be we used to sleep for like a day. Fuck, what was it? Up until like 150 years ago, we used to sleep like for a day, and then they found out that you can make twice as much money if you
stop sleeping,
less. And now we just sleep less.
I know, and now they're fighting for like a 4-day work week.
Hell yeah, dog.
And there's like all this shit that's like, can't we just go back to the basics, like, and just work on a bartering system or some shit?
Can't we just trade beans?
Like, let's just trade shit. Like, what are you like? I have art that I could make physically and trade for something.
Yeah.
That like you got potatoes.
Yeah.
You farm potatoes,
dude. My friend,
look at this fucking cool hat. It says poo poo pee pee on it.
What do you think about this, dude? I miss back in the day how it was like I grow beans.
Yeah.
So I'll give you my beans. And then one person plants the beans and they're like, I'll give you this plant.
Yeah.
And then one person climbs the plant and says, now I'll give you a gold harp from a giant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that
then they
was
trade
real.
it, and then you got a car.
That was what happened in Vietnam.
I want to talk to one more person.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm calling all their landline and their cell phone at once. I want to keep it going.
Anyway, let's do some ads.
Yeah.
Let's sell the people something.
Let's sell you guys some things. Let's do some commercials. Guys, my undies are full of poop. But MeUndies are made from micromodal fabrics.
Okay, I'm in.
And that's something that you can count on when you talk about well, we're not talking about my undies. We're talking about MeUndies.
But you do wear them, so in a roundabout way. We are talking about your undies.
Well,
your
these
undies.
my MeUndies are soiled. Guys, when was the last time you treated yourself to something quality? Mike and I were just talking about this. And we're not calling you basic, but we get it. Sometimes it feels like quality things are out of reach. Now that MeUndies... You alright?
I ate something spicy.
You had to burp real quick. Now that MeUndies is available on the MeUndies website, Amazon, and Nordstrom stores.
Is that right?
Yeah, fancy. Damn, our boy, my MeUndies moving up in the world. Dude, you selling your shit in Nordstrom?
I
Shit.
saw some shit in Nordstrom once. They kicked me out.
I walked around Nordstrom once and 3 different people asked me if I needed help. And I each time said no, and then I realized that I wasn't dressed to be in there.
I don't go there anymore because they ask if I'm going to pay for the stuff I hid in my coat. I hid it!
They watch me. They watch me when I'm in Nordstrom. Guys, MeUndies is offering 25% off. Plus free shipping.
Hello?
They let their dogs poop in the yard and then they just walk away from the poop.
MeUndies are my MeUndies. MeUndies is offering 25% off plus free shipping on your first order when you order through their website. These undies are ripe for the taking. And I'm sick of underwear that isn't MeUndies. I tried to put on a pair of underwear that wasn't MeUndies the other day, and my body rejected it.
My body rejected them.
Yeah, they rejected it.
I tried to do that legit, and my legs kicked them off.
I put on a whole other pair of underwear. I won't say the brand.
Yeah.
And I wore them for about 4 hours, and it started coming out of my arm. My body sucked it up into the skin.
You squeezed the zit and boxers came
Yeah, I
out?
felt a little something, and it was the underwear coming out of another part of my body.
So don't let that happen to you.
Guys, and I'll tell you, shopping for MeUndies has never been easier. In the mood to feel their famous fabric and see their bright, fun prints in person? I've got ladies coming over every night, and they're seeing my undies and asking me where I got them. And I said, I said, I got them from MeUndies. And remember, the MeUndies website is still the best way to explore all the undies and apparel they have to offer, from men's and women's undies to joggers, socks, and bralettes. You could put your punching bags into some of them MeUndies, and you'll feel the micromodal fabric all around those areolas. Straight up, from my mouth to dog's ears. We're talking the bounty hunter. Rest in peace. He's up there. Guys, and also you can join the MeUndies membership and save up to 30% on most purchases, and members also get tons of other perks like early access and free shipping. Guys, they had Back to the Future MeUndies. They had Star Wars MeUndies. I got a pair the other day that had cute little, what do they call those guys that crack open shells in their tummies? That swim around? Otters! Are those otters? Sea otters? I had some sea otters on mine. So guys, to get 25% off your first order, as I said before, and free standard shipping, you can head to MeUndies.com/banter. That's MeUndies.com/banter. The sale is only available for online purchases, and remember, if you're not 100% satisfied, it's on us.
Well, not us. Personally.
Well, it's on them, is what they're saying. You know?
Somebody's got to pay for it.
I mean, you know, yeah. I mean, it's on us. I mean, we're part of the problem.
I don't give a fuck, Becca. Tell someone else.
Warning you with peace and love, but I have too much to do.
This is never not going to be funny.
It's too much to do, guys. Hello, Fresh. Hi, who's there? Hello? Who's on the phone? E.T.?
How much money would it take to make you spend a night in the cemetery?
With HelloFresh, guys, we're talking farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered right to your door. How does that sound, smackers?
Right from the chicken building to the egg room
Yes.
to your door.
From their egg room to your egg room.
Sometimes when I buy a plane ticket, I get the extra egg room.
I like to look around in the factories and get my idea, and get my idea, and get my idea, and get my idea, and get my idea.
These are grass-fed eggs.
I get my idea. I like to get my idea. I like to get ideas for egg rooms. And when I go to a new place, I say, "Let me see your egg room," so that I might be able to clean it. Somebody answer that fucking phone! Guys, HelloFresh makes home cooking easy, fun, and affordable, and that's why it's America's #1 meal kit. That's why!
Let me do my show, for Christ's sake!
Guys, you can make mealtime easy with delicious recipes made with fresh, wholesome ingredients delivered to your door. No lines, no hassle, just great tasting meals you can whip up and enjoy in the comfort of your home. Delicious dinners are a cinch and a pinch with HelloFresh's chef-crafted seasonal recipes that come with ingredients that are already pre-portioned. So all you gotta do is cook it and enjoy!
Stop lighting the audience!
Jack.
I don't give a fuck.
Jack.
Stop it!
Guys, and I'll tell you, powering up with protein is easier than ever with HelloFresh. And I mind to check out their Protein Smart tag on their menu to quickly find recipes, including 30 that feature 30 grams or more of protein, Mike. We're talking 1 pot pork and black bean chili.
Bit of a pingy ting.
And guys, we're talking about creamy Dijon Dale chicken.
Excuse me.
Don't be ridiculous.
So guys, I'll tell you, Mike and I have been cooking up HelloFresh meals for a couple of years now. They've been a proud sponsor of the Dynamic Banter program for a little over a couple of 9 years now. So go to HelloFresh.com/Banter60 and use that code Banter60.
Almost there. Dude.
Someone ran up
Almost
to the door
there.
and then stopped.
Is
And
this
then
the
ra-
place?
You go to HelloFresh.com/Banter60. Use that code Banter60 for 60% off.
Bit of a pingy ting.
And you'll get free shipping. I know. I said HelloFresh.com/Banter60. Use that code Banter60 for 60% off and free shipping. Guys, we're talking HelloFresh here, America's #1 meal kit.
Steve's stomach just came out of his mouth real fast.
I don't give a.
Oh, so many buttons. What do you got? A petticoat over there?
Peace and
Guys, Warby Parker. Warby Parker's here. Guys, knock knock, who's there? Warby Parker. Warby Parker who? Guys, I'll tell you, Warby Parker was founded with a mission to inspire and impact the world with vision. Isn't that nice? And we're gonna give it to him. If you need vision, we got it.
Huh?
I said, if you need vision, we've got it.
Oh.
Warby Parker offers everything you need for happier eyes. Eyeglasses, sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams. You can shop with them online or in their stores. Glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. Now that's what I call good price.
I'm coming.
Just someone driving to work. Dead silent. No expression on their face.
Searching through the AM channels. Guys, you can try Warby Parker's free home try-on program. You can order 5 pairs of glasses to try at home for free, and there's no obligation to buy, ships free, and includes a prepaid return shipping label. Try 5 pairs of glasses at home for free at warbyparker.com/banter, guys. And you must take the quiz and order a try-on kit at least 2 weeks in advance of your ad read, Mike. Mike, you've had a pair of Warby Parker glasses before, haven't you, buddy?
Yeah, they were great, and that's my personal testimony.
Me too, man. I have had many pairs that I enjoy quite a bit, and that home try-on kit is really fun and cool to use. It's like getting a whole box of glasses for you to try on for your friends.
That's exactly what it is.
Neil Ghosh.
Not to mention another friend.
Just a friend's name, that's all. So guys, go to warbyparker.com/banter. I'll tell ya, One more time, that's warbyparker.com/banter. And try those 5 pairs of glasses at home for free at warbyparker.com/banter. Thank you so much.
Fuck, man.
Wasn't that nice?
I don't know.
Okay, so I want to run right in to walk it out. Walk it out for us. I'm trying to get down to the history roads because I know some people have talked to us.
Dude,
I know some people.
There have been 4 or 5 times where I forgot what we were doing.
I know that there's people who have hit us up about this poop problem. Remember we were talking about this poop problem, Mike? There's poop everywhere in Los Angeles.
The rain has been making it worse.
The rain is just making all those dried turds look slippery and sloppy.
It disguises it a lot of times because you're like, oh, is that just dirt on the sidewalk? And it's never not. It came out of a person.
It's like turd Halloween. They're all dressing up. And I'm sick of it, Mike. I really am. I want something to be done about it. So let's get into these history roads because I just know some people have sent us some fun.
There's a lot.
There's potential solutions to this.
My sister sent me that there's already a phenomenon about this.
What do you mean a phenomenon?
Okay.
There
was a thing called the Cobra effect. Here, read it. Same thing where they tamed the system.
The Cobra effect. The term Cobra effect was coined by economist Horst Siebert.
I need to know everything about that person.
That's a Horst of a different color.
Is that a junior?
You got a nickname?
Horst Siebert was my father.
Please.
Horst? Like the most horse?
Horst. Like the past tense of a horse.
All week I've been horsed.
So this was based on an anecdote of an occurrence in India during British rule.
Horst Siebert.
The British government, concerned about the number of venomous cobras in Delhi, offered a bounty for every dead cobra. What?
Horst is his name?
Horst. Like my voice is feeling hoarse.
Like if you win the Kentucky Derby, you came in hoarse.
No, they were the horse. They came in horsed.
It's hot. There's nothing to eat. This is the horse.
This is the horse. Eventually, here's the deal. There was a bounty for every dead cobra. Initially, this was a successful strategy. Large numbers of snakes were killed for the reward. Eventually, however, enterprising people began to breed cobras for the income. This is what we're talking about.
Will you just
When the government became aware of this,
you need to fill it.
The reward program. The reward program was scrapped.
Damn.
When cobra breeders set their now worthless snakes free, the wild cobra. The wild cobra.
It's like the same effect as somebody playing the accordion the entire time.
The wild cobra. Population further increased.
Dude, this is like that TikTok. The TikToks where there's a clip of something and then something innocuous is happening in the background, but it's only the second clip. It's like 3 or 4 clips that don't mean anything playing at once.
So when cobra breeders, so it brought more wild cobras into the mix, Mike. So it was. So
it's impossible for me to follow the story.
So they tried something similar to like, we'll pay you. In this case, these cobras were poop.
And then what happened?
And it just, people were gaming the system, and then they scrapped the whole idea. And
How
then
were
it
they
brought
gaming the
more
system?
snakes. They were breeding their own snakes and then killing them and bringing the corpses and going like, give me money.
So there were more snakes as a result of people breeding them?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then
so you think there's going to
the
be
problem
more
worse.
poop? If we pay people to pick up poop, do you think there's just going to be more poop?
Well, because
it doesn't work like that with leaves.
I think it just means the government will be like, we don't want people to game the system. Yeah, and then there's just gonna be poop everywhere.
Long ago, long way down the history road, history road, history
Monday, March 20th will be the Comedy Store.
Melissa Banter has a solution to Steve's poop problems, as they have said. Suddenly everything feels racist in here. Melissa Banner says, BB's, hey boys, I don't know if this was a targeted ad for clicking on your video about dog shit, but this link will hopefully take you to a video of a robot that scoops up dog shit. Best of luck and always watch where you step from Melissa. Let's see this here. Beetle, a robotic pooper scooper. Oh my god, this guy...
This is a dodo video?
It says this is an autonomous pooper scooper. Very good. Wow, look at that. It's showing us how it works. This robotic scooper will roam your garden looking for waste left behind by your pet. So it's like a Roomba, a poopa.
How does it know?
Let's see. It says, it's called Beetle. Once the docking station is set up, the Beetle robot will begin work scanning the grounds, mapping out areas to find waste. Dude, it is just straight up. It just picks it up with these little claws.
How does it know?
God, that looks gross. This device can operate in rough grass, and once the device finds waste, it will then deploy a claw, which will collect it. Yeah, what if it's like a rat?
How does it know?
We're picking up this rat. It looks like it's using... When the device's battery runs low, it'll park itself in the docking station, which will then recharge the batteries. I mean, we can't have this thing roaming around in the streets, could we? People are going to kick the shit out of this poor guy. Kick him into the road.
There are robots that deliver food for people that people don't kick the shit out
For
of.
sure. And those things also get absolutely destroyed by vandals. Did you know that there was a...
How does the robot know it's poop? That's the only question I have.
I mean, I guess it's like analyzing. It's using a camera.
But we don't have to guess. The information has to be there.
It,
What do you program into a robot to be like, that is poop? Then the robot knows.
I think it's got a camera, and it's like scanning. And when it sees a mound of something, it picks it up. Which means it could be dirt. It could be other trash.
Do you know this for sure?
Well, it showed a picture of it like locking in on like a poop. And
Why
it's
don't
like
we?
black and white.
Why don't we get? I think part of the problem dumbing people down is you just show them the picture of what it does, and you don't tell them how it works.
Well, I think that there's a healthy amount of skepticism that comes along with watching a video like this for a few reasons. First of all, it's the fucking internet, so not everything you see should be believed. AI is making some pretty convincing looking, realistic scenarios that are hard to tell if they're real or not. A lot of deep fakes are hard to tell if they're real or not. So something like this could also fall into the category of being like a fairy tale, like how the fuck could this work? But it looks like it works, and it really does look like those robots that like deliver food, which also begs the question, like, how do those robots know where to deliver the food?
That I get, because every place has a GPS.
Like an address
so
and stuff
you
like that?
send the
Yeah.
robot to this GPS and that GPS. What do you tell
But how
the
does
robot?
it stop at the stoplights and stuff like that, or not get run over, or like go into the street? Like, I think that there's like programming in these boys to make them, analyze their surroundings and stuff. But dude, this totally reminded me of this project a while back where they were like, I swear it was from Canada or something, where they like built this robot, and they're like, we're gonna have this robot travel the world. Like, it'll take buses and it'll like hitchhike
and then
stuff.
they beat the shit out of it. Every time they got to Philly. Every time they got to Philadelphia specifically.
And it just stopped working. It was like these Canadians, they were just trying to do a nice, fun project. They're like, stick stickers from your city on it and stuff like that. People just like destroyed it.
I typed in iRobot's new Roomba uses AI to avoid smearing poop all over your house. Okay? So I wrote, how does a robot recognize poop? And this is what I got.
The vacuum has a camera to spot obstacles, and image recognition algorithms trained on iRobot's dataset can determine whether that obstacle appears to be poop.
Yeah.
So here is my very human being question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you type into the algorithm to say that mound of something is poop?
I mean, I think that this is a question for smarter people than us.
What's an image recognition? So you probably show it images of poop.
So they probably spent
10,000 images of poop.
They probably spent like hundreds of hours.
So
doing
there's a day at the robot company where they're like, we need everybody's pictures of poop.
We need everybody's poop. Everybody poop all around the compound today.
If you poop anytime within the next 3 weeks and you don't take a picture of it, you're fucking fired.
I mean, let's be honest. There's no shortage of poop data out there, whether on the streets or in their building where they're doing their research.
But they give everybody at the company 10 megapixel cameras.
And they'll take a picture.
Shit outside and take a picture of it.
But that would just analyze human poop, which is vastly different than dog poop. I mean, I guess depending on how big the dog is, maybe.
Depending on how much Taco Bell the dog eats.
Depending. Guys, Joe David, God damn it, says,
ew, David.
The fresh leavings of a canine were solved in Dublin, Ireland. Says, hi, boys. As the subject line suggests, I come from Dublin, Ireland. I would love to hear your best, worst Irish impressions. Irish.
I'm Irish.
Irish.
Why you over there being Irish?
I'm just over here being Irish.
I've been Irish.
Irish Spring.
Blarney.
Killarney. Tarty-toy. Hearty
Target. Why is there a Starbucks in the Target?
A star to Starbucks.
Who needs coffee when they're walking around the Target?
Take your car to Target, Starbucks in the Target parking lot.
And that's how we got Boston. Do they recognize? What do you type into the algorithm to make the iRobots recognize the poop?
Someone is stolen my doubloons. Guys, apparently they have solved the poop problem in Dublin, Ireland.
They killed all the dogs.
And they said they did. They killed them all. They said they solved the dog poop problem for the most part. Growing up in Dublin, I remember dog shit being scattered everywhere in my little suburban abode. People would just drive around in their trucks and throw poop like newspapers.
Dude, even our parents just threw garbage out the window until there was that commercial of the Native American crying.
I remember there was a road trip of me. My dad was driving, and he put his hand in the back seat, and I just pooped into his hand, and then he threw it out the window.
And he hit a monument. And that's how we used to see the country.
He hit a mom. So apparently, to the point where we would regularly see the full spectrum of dog excrement, from little black pebbles to thick brown slugs, all the way to the elusive white dog turd. When it's been left in the sun and heat for so long, it dries out to look like chunks of chalk on the ground. We actually did we learn about this here? Because we've talked about white dog turds. You remember those?
Yeah.
You haven't seen them, though. You know why?
No. They changed the dog's diet.
They did change the dog food ingredients.
No more Alpo.
That didn't have the thing that was making their turds turn white. And now it doesn't do it no more. It had nothing to do with the sun. It was stuff in dog food.
Powdered sugar.
This was a regular sight for me and my friends as we played on the grassy areas around my neighborhood. Then it seemed like all of a sudden all the dog poop was gone and nowhere to be found. Sounds like heaven. Did you die? Look at all, like it just all vanished, Kevin. Never to return to stain our clothes or to get stuck in the cracks of our shoes. No longer would we have to hunt down those little sticks to pick out the shit from the bottom of our shoes. Before reading on, maybe have a guess at what you think might have happened. I'm sure the reality is much less interesting than what you guys come up with. People were eating them.
People were eating them. Yeah, that's my guess as well.
Yeah, you just see them on the street, and then they just.
If a cop saw you not eat it, you would get arrested.
Yeah, you get a citation.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to cite you for not eating his shite.
Oi, tatay. What we have here? We have a little one not eating his turds.
Let me check your teeth for fresh leaves.
Perhaps I'd have to tell your mother, whom I went to school with.
Why doesn't your breath smell like shite?
Let me smell your breath, you young tyke. So, from what I remember...
They don't know any better.
There was a story that went around... No, we're pirates. There was a story that went around that some poor little girl was playing around and got some dog fecus into their hands. Her being very young and naive, she subsequently touched her eyes, and her eyes got horribly infected. Gross. So infected that she became blind?
Dude, that's the image I had in my head.
With that going on.
Shit dripping into this young girl's eyes.
Poor thing. At which point her parents then tried to sue the city council for negligence. Okay, come on. You gonna sue the city because there's poop?
Yeah, because if there is hazardous material that can make a dude, you can get arrested if you leave a bucket turned on its side in your yard because a kid could just be in the bucket and like suffocate themselves.
If you were like the owner of a piece of land,
and that land had like a well,
and that land,
and you didn't cover your well, and a kid fell down.
Well,
it's
sure,
like the same thing.
Sure. But let's say you're the owner of a piece of land, and some kid comes and sticks dog turds in their eyes, and then they come over and go, "We're suing you,"
and you could prove it.
Would you be like, "Fine, I'll pay whatever the fuck you want"? But can you teach your fucking children not to put poop in their goddamn eyes?
First, for sure.
Like, wouldn't you, like, you'd pay it, so you'd accept it. You'd accept that it's your fault that kid put poop in their eyes. And you'd pay it happily and move on and be like, fine.
Well, dog turds are left out from negligence.
Yeah.
It's a result. Any injury
But let's say it's not
be
your
the
dogs.
result of negligence.
Let's say it's like coyotes that come out at night and they shit there.
Well, what can you do about that?
What can you do? So you just have to pay it and just...
Coyote shit in the wood. Does a coyote shit in the woods?
Will the Pope hear it? So guys...
if a tree shits on a coyote...
Does the Pope hear it? Does the Pope know? Does the Pope know every time a tree shits in the coyote?
Yes or no, if you have faith.
The parents sued the city council for negligence. Whether they won or not, I do not know, but it must have scared the city councils in Dublin shitless. Get it?
No.
As soon as after there were hundreds of posters and signs stating owners need to pick up their dogs' droppings or face fines for up to $5,000.
That's the move. If somebody catches you not picking up your dog shit, like I've seen, remember how we were talking about it's very rare that you catch someone not picking up their dog shit?
Yeah, but if
there
you
needs
could
to be
prove
the
it-
ultimate penalty.
I think you're right.
I saw somebody let their dog shit on a sidewalk in Santa Monica, where people sleep, by the way.
Yeah.
And
That's someone's apartment.
And I
they're
saw them
paying
walked away.
$2,000 a
Dude, me and
month
Zoya
for.
launched a tab.
Oh, good.
Like, hey, we were in the car. We're like, hey, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're being a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, you have to shame people.
You have to at least shame them.
There has to be public shaming if somebody catches you leaving your dog shit. One time, I was walking Naren's dog, remember?
Yeah.
And the dog shit onto a bush.
Like on the top of it?
Like loves doing it. Like shit onto the side of a bush. So it was one of those
Like
big leaves.
hanging
It was
down.
just hanging. And I was like, that is
That's
art.
a piece of art, yeah.
That was skillfully placed.
Yeah.
And I left it there for sure.
That's wonderful.
But if a cop saw that and was like, you need to give me $500, I'd be like, I get it. Because I would pay for that.
Because you'd want other people to be getting that same punishment.
Anything you don't want people to do, you have to like scare them
Isn't
into
that
not
funny?
doing.
It's the same shit we were talking about as like when we were kids being taught about sex. It was a scary thing, not like a fun, awesome
Also, to be
thing.
fair, kids, and maybe I'll get a little bit of heat for this, but we should scare kids into not having sex.
I don't know.
It's not, kids are not, if I'm not going to let you drive a car until you're 16 or vote until you're 18 or buy alcohol until you're 21, you could definitely not have sex. I'm not going to I'm not going to throw you in jail for having sex, but you're definitely not mature enough to handle the repercussions of sex.
I think we should fine children for having sex if they're caught.
Kids should be fined $5,000 for having sex before their 16th birthday.
So anyway, if and here's the thing, after the $5,000 fine, repeat offenders could face jail time. So imagine going to jail for that. Additionally, the councils did provide plenty of public waste disposal bins around common public areas. The bin.
You see that a lot in LA, the posts with all the doggy bags.
Not as much as I'd like to see, but there are a lot around the apartment buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them out on the streets and stuff where people like kind of take their, like around the apartment buildings are good because a lot of people will just come outside their apartment, let their dog run around in a circle for a second, shit, pick up the poop, put it in the thing, and then go back inside.
Yeah.
Like instead of walking their dogs like a few 100 feet,
instead
like
of
you
giving
should.
your dogs exercise.
Yeah, a little exercise.
Let your dog sniff stuff, dude.
Let your dog walk.
I don't care how much time you don't have.
Yeah.
Let your dog, who is in your fucking
in your shit
800-foot square apartment,
exactly, your little box.
Let them smell.
Don't they? Imagine not being able to like at least see down the block, and you're stuck in this box all day.
Yeah.
Mamma mia. So it says, it seemed like both these measures took care of all the fresh leavings of the canines scattered around Dublin. Like I said, not a wholly interesting conclusion, but an idea for you guys. Maybe one that you can take. Maybe you can take one for the team.
Do they not think we have that here? We have signs and we have fines. It's just no one catches anybody doing it. Oh yeah, dude. There's signs all over the place. Like if you leave your dog shit here. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there dog poop fines in California?
Yeah, well, I think it's considered littering. So you'd get like a $500
It is.
ticket.
I think you're right about that.
There should be. Can
It
you look
says
that up?
dogs' feces must be disposed of in a sanitary manner. A violation of this section is an infraction punishable by a fine of up to $100.
That's not enough.
$5,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You really got to scare the shit out of people. You really got to scare the shit into the garbage.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe's who sent us in that very informative dog poop situation.
Dude, sometimes even when I see those posts that have like the bags, the little container of bags, I think it's very nice, but I do think that's the city going above and beyond to like rectify. Like if you want a pet, if you want all the responsibility that comes with a pet, but you don't want to remember to put a bag in your pocket, like that doesn't seem like.
Yeah.
I wish that people were better. I wish that they didn't need the city to be like, and here's the bags, and they're already outside.
I know it's like again, like we're in a the great age of convenience, right? So with that said, it's like we expect everything to be a convenience, including the little bags for our dog shits.
Elon Musk should come pick up this shit.
So it's like if we've marketed convenience as like a necessity, then we need to like consider convenience in the other aspects too, right? Like cleaning up our shit. Like think about like recycling. Remember how recycling was a thing early on when we were kids, and it was like, you know, you gotta take your recycling to this recycling center at the at like every when your recycling bin is filled, and it's like no one's gonna do that. No one's gonna drive their shit to a fucking center.
Okay, we'll do a truck, but we'll paint it different.
And then they're like, all right, fine, we'll give you another bin, and you can just throw it in that bin. And people barely do that. They go like, yeah, they'll sift through it at the dump or whatever.
And now they don't even do a good job of sifting through it.
So there isn't really. It's funny how like the convenience applies to things that like we want, not necessarily things that are helpful to others.
Yeah, it's like everything comes at a cost. My mom used to say you could have things 2 of 3 ways. It's like fast, easy, and cheap.
Yep.
And you can only you can pick 2 out of the 3.
Basically, yeah, you get what you put your effort into.
You know, if it's fast and easy, it's not going to be cheap.
There was a beautiful poem that says that you always get what you give.
And I don't give a shit.
Mike.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you guys for those history roads. I know that there's many more dog poop scenarios that you guys have sent in, and maybe we'll just continue on with them because I don't know if I feel like we've figured out our solution here, but if I need to go to our city hall and be like, we need to increase the fines for dog poops.
What are the chances of that happening?
I mean, if we get enough interest in this and we think that this could actually work, because I'm not going to waste my time with something that's not going to
I think that everybody thinks that, and that's why it doesn't
That's
happen.
true, but if we put the research in and we think and we find that it could be a fruitful endeavor, then fuck yeah, I'll lead the charge.
Dude, I want you on the city council. First of all, that'll never happen. Second of all, I want you on the city council. I want you voted into a position where that's like, you have to take care of a lot of things, but that's the only thing you care about.
Dude, I would love it.
Like, I don't know, fucking put another pipe in. Put another oil pipe in. I don't give a shit.
You know what, though? They've got enough people working on the, like, things that are bigger problems, and they're not doing anything about it. So they can have one more person there pretending to fix something.
You're the dog poop guy.
Yeah, I'll just be the dog poop guy. All right, guys, let's say goodbye to History Road.
Yes. Goodbye, History Roads. Also, I'll wait for the song.
This is the 3-minute version.
On 3/24, the biggest surrounded show of all time is happening in the main room of the Hollywood Improv. Tickets are half gone. So if you want to be there, I'd suggest getting your ticket fast. Tell your friends fast. And get your tickets, dude. Also, you could sign up for the text list that we have now, and you could find out about my shows and also Dynamic Banter shows, which hopefully will be ramping up again in the fall.
Jackpot.
And that number is 818-722-8682. Go ahead and text horny to that number, and we'll know that you want information on shows.
Beautifully said, Mike. And we want to thank the patrons of the Dynamic Banter show. You guys are sweet little BBs. And want to congratulate Kevin for all his hard work on that, creating content. And we're having a big old meeting after this for the next couple of months of content for the Patreon. It's a lot of fun stuff. It's an extension of the show. We've taken a lot of bits from the show and turned them into outside of the podcast moments, whatever that means. And we got big plans for fun stuff coming up soon. So keep your eyes peeled on that Patreon, patreon.com/dynamicbanter. And of course, the merchandise as well at dynamicbanter.clothing is all of those links are in the description, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you to Byron, all the folks at HeadGum, Leah, people who help us with the show. God bless, amen. No cap.
No crap.
No crap on this show.
That was a HeadGum podcast.